And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again, another day committed to picking a fight with the mainstream media and always providing you the timely truth centered around real estate, credit, finance, estate plans, tax plans, and so much more. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show. Our number one goals are to educate, entertain, enlighten, and most importantly, we want to engage with you in an effort to help you win.
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
Save our hotline number in your phone. At some point, you're going to need it. 813-670-7372.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
813-670-7372. Don't forget our number and make sure you bookmark our website, consumerqb.com. A plethora of information available at consumerqb.com. You can see links to all of our expert contributors. All their contact information is there. And you can also submit an email form that's going to come directly through to myself and our show producer, James. We're going to make sure we get right back to you before our head hits the pillow and help you with all your consumer advocate advice that you need. And it's Intelligent Talk Radio. I've got some intelligent folks here in studio with me today. Back in studio, Chuck Peterson, Sun-Coast Roofing. Welcome in.
Hey, man. Glad to be back.
Yes, sir.
Doing
yes, sir.
good. Making all right.
Yes, sir. Rocking. Things are going well.
Yep, absolutely. This, rainy season here for us, so it's good for roofing as far as sales go. That's for sure.
Yeah. I was at an AT&T store yesterday, and it was dripping through, and they said they got corporate going on it. And
say,
I mentioned
just call us.
I mentioned Suncoast. They said, "Oh man, we got corporate. We got to go this, that, and
whatever."
Yeah, it was a flat roof, and they said they said, "Oh no, we think it's the air conditioning." I said, "Well, sometimes those flat roofs, it'll sit a pocket and then it'll burst."
Yeah, when it does and it's leaking in, then it's a little too late to fix. You got to go up there and have somebody that knows what they're doing. Not AC for sure.
Yeah. Suncoast Roofing in the house. Also, Fred Muth, the Tin Man, a.k.a. the Tin Man here, Tampa Screens and Aluminum.
Well, I'm so glad to be back. It's been a while.
Yeah, man.
Somebody's jumping up and down. Should I?
Chris Hatfield.
There we go.
Chris Hatfield did a good job filling in for you.
I listened to Chris. Wow. Man, he's a radio guy.
He did well, didn't he? He did a good job.
I enjoy listening to him.
Yeah.
He's a ball of fire.
Yeah.
So, sorry, I'm not exactly at the ball of fire that Chris is, but I'll try to be. Anyway,
you
we're
always
doing
do a great job. You always do a great job.
Our industry is just going through the roof. And
nice.
To the roof. There you go. Yeah.
And all of our screen roofs, apparently, they all leak. They're supposed to.
Yeah.
Right.
Solid aluminum roofs will not leak.
There you go.
There we go.
Yeah, but the screen ones will.
Yes, they will.
They'll drip in a little bit.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about the aluminum tariffs, the impacts. Trump administration with the tariffs on aluminum. See what that impact is. We're going to discuss that a little bit here.
Okay.
Coming up. Also, Matt Schafer in the house. Team Go Loans, GSF Mortgage. Welcome in, sir.
Honored to be here, Brandon.
My pleasure.
Florida economy's booming.
Yes, it is.
The housing market's doing great. It's a good time right now.
Great time to get into the real estate space, and doing your mortgage is a big part of that process. Getting pre-approval, making sure you don't wait till the last minute and come up with all these last minute things. I think identity theft being so prevalent in our community, a lot of times you're seeing stuff showing up on credit that people don't think is theirs, right?
Oh yeah, look, credit that can happen. Names can get mixed up, stuff like that. But that's one of the pluses of being a mortgage banker like GSF. Since we're a smaller group, we don't have to worry as much about theft like that. We have a very secure system. People, sometimes think the bigger banks have the more secure way of, guarding your information, but that is exactly the opposite. The bigger banks are the bigger targets.
Bigger target. That's what we talked about yesterday. We had insurance expert Eunice Halstead on the show talking about cybersecurity. Yeah, man, it's really for big businesses. You're a target. Pretty much any business now. Also, with the advent of cryptocurrency, people are able to, hey, send the money over here. You can't track it.
Yeah, that's just crazy.
So it's a different game nowadays. It's kind of a catch-22. You look at the ability now as a small business owner or a startup, or to be able to sell things on eBay or Spotify, however you want to sell things, you're able to go online and make a ton of money. On the flip side, there's the negative side of that as well, where you could get ransomware, you could get all these different things.
All the other markets like that, they're just a little too volatile for me.
Yeah.
I think that's why real estate's doing so well. People can rely on it. It's
an
investment for their future that's just as stable as it gets.
That's
8 out of 10 people get a mortgage. So if you just do your, take the steps, make the moves right, get qualified, go shopping, get the right home, and make your payments. Later on down the road, you have something to lie back on and something to really make sure that you're comfortable later in life.
Real estate is the best asset class, in my opinion. Obviously, I'm a bit slanted here with the Platinum MVP Realty and my background in real estate, but it's an insurable asset. You can insure the asset. It's going to appreciate over time. They're not making any more Mother Earth, last I checked.
Absolutely, yeah.
And there's the opportunity are endless, especially when you couple that with someone like Scott Maurer, Advanta IRA, on our show. He talks about buying through a self-directed IRA.
We were just talking about that back.
And now you're able to take advantage of that. So I must be picking it up, somehow.
It's like osmosis. We were just talking about that. Yeah.
So, the ability to buy through a self-directed IRA, Scott Maurer Advanta IRA, you're able to take advantage of tax incentives. You're able to control where your dollars are going, unlike some of these so-called wealth advisors out there that aren't a fiduciary. They're telling you, oh, invest with this stock or invest in this mutual fund. Well, the facts are, Tony Robbins wrote in his book, The Money Master the Game, he wrote in his book that 95% of mutual funds do not outperform the index, meaning you're better off just investing directly into the index, the S&P 500, for example, and you're going to make more money than 95% of those mutual funds.
For sure. People say diversify your assets. That's what the stockbrokers want, stuff like that. But putting your eggs in one basket and taking care of it, it often pays off the best.
Absolutely, especially if it's that basket that like kind of like Grant Cardone talks about. If you know a certain basket's going to work, double down on it, triple down. Sure. Stay in the game. All right, so we got Chuck Peterson in the house, Suncoast Roofing, Fred Muth, a.k.a. the Tin Man, Tampa Screens and Aluminum, Matt Schafer, Team Go Loans, GSF Mortgage, and as you know, I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes, owner of Platinum MVP Realty and a top listing agent here in Tampa Bay. I've got a hot listing on the beach. I got to let you know about this one, 1370 Gulf Boulevard, unit number 401, Clearwater Beach, the Bella Rosa condo, and it's an end unit, so you got windows on the side. You're not in the middle of the building, and you feel like you're boxed in. You actually have views outside from the side as well. 3-bedroom, 3-bath, $1.175 million listing of mine, over 2,200 square feet, gorgeous property right on the beach, Sand Key, Clearwater Beach. Check it out. And also another waterfront beauty here at 7441 Islander Lane in Hudson, 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, Sea Pine subdivision, $398,000, gorgeous property, over 4,700 square feet total at $398,000, waterfront. Beautiful property here, bay access. Every day feels like a vacation from 7441 Islander Lane in beautiful Hudson, Florida. And I got to give a shout out to our friends at Whole Body Fuel. Check out this food. If you're watching our TV show, I'm holding it up. You got beautiful packaging. The presentation is great. This is a paleo meal here that is beautiful, and it has local honey hot sauce chicken with southern sweet potato cakes and steamed asparagus. Just a small sampling of some of their variety that they have, and the protein donuts are amazing. My daughter and I have loved the protein donuts. I mean, it's the best of both worlds. It's healthy, but it tastes great as well. So this food, now this is an opportunity. Think about business. Right?
Protein donut.
Yeah, it's really good. So you have the ability to have these meals delivered to your home or office. It's convenient. It's going to have you eating healthy. And what else do you have in this world if you don't have your health, right? If you think about the cancer rates in this world that we live in, that everything that you have stresses. This is one way that you can simplify your life, leave a better legacy for your family, and just enjoy wholebodyfuel.com. Check them out, wholebodyfuel.com, and you'll see their information on our website as well, consumerqb.com. All right, let's jump right into it. We got Chuck Peterson back in studio here, Suncoast Roofing, and we got some interesting stories here from James. James pulled up some stories.
Got some roofing stories.
Yeah, some roofing stories. We got the lightning strikes. If you're working outside, being careful. We'll talk about lightning as well. But so one of the stories here, Chuck talks about mistaken identity. This gentleman up in Washington, Wisconsin, a roofing project was started on the wrong building.
Seen it done. We've done it ourselves. Let's be honest.
It happens. I mean,
we got, we're doing 50, 60 roofs a day, and we have done it more than once, where the guys roll up to a house, the number looks at, it'll be East 3rd Street instead of East 3rd Avenue.
Right
street number, house got old signals on it.
Yeah.
They start tearing the house off. And
Yeah.
homeowner comes out and goes, "What are you doing?" And we're like, "I guess we're putting a new roof on your house."
Guess we're hooking you up today. It's your lucky day.
One thing about our company, if we mess it up, we're going to fix it and all. But we've clearly done it, seen it happen.
That happens. It does happen. I remember in the property preservation business. I mean, we're doing so many grass cuts, lock changes, clean outs. You show up to the wrong house, you start cutting the grass or whatever. Man, it's just a volume thing. It happens.
Such a nice thing to do.
We've done that in the screen business. We have installed Mrs. Smith's job on Mrs. Jones' property.
Oh man!
So and Mrs. Smith is happy too.
They're very happy. Mrs. Jones is not happy.
So what you do? You go out to the van, you pull out the big check and say, "You're the winner of the Suncoast Roofing Sweepstakes."
Without a doubt,
we make them an offer they can't refuse.
Yeah. There you go. Nice.
We try, and I will say this: most of the homeowners understand that if it was something where they were going to have to do it, that they will pay a portion of that
a little bit, because
they weren't prepared to buy a roof,
right.
But there's times where they don't, and as a company, we made the mistake, so we fix it.
I'll tell you what, it takes a big man to admit the mistakes and things like that, especially on air. But I think every company would do it, right? Yeah. I mean, every company does that.
No, I mean, not every company would go fix them. Just like you saw here,
exactly.
They left, never to be seen again.
Yeah, these guys left. So we're going to talk about that. With the hurricane season here, some of the things that we saw last year with Irma down in Collier County, Fort Myers area as well. We're going to talk about that. Things to look for, things to help you avoid a lot of that types of activity here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Stay with us, and our feel-good story of the week is a good one. It's after saving his life, these firefighters returned to finish laying his sod. Shout out to Pasco County Fire Rescue in Florida here. All right, stay with us right here after this short break. We'll be right back.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes. Do not touch that dial. I'll come right through the radio and grab your throat.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
And we're back here, Brandon Rhymes, Consumer Quarterback Show. Former USF football player, played on the inaugural football team at USF. Long time quarterback on our sports teams, championships throughout the state of Florida. And now we're quarterbacking a different game. We're quarterbacking introductions to our expert contributors, 80-plus show partners, CPAs, financial advisors, attorneys, all types of home services, health experts here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We're also quarterbacking introductions and deals for our buyers, sellers, investors in the real estate business. Platinum, MVPRealty.com. Check out Platinum, MVPRealty.com. We got a great lineup for you today here. Chuck Peterson in the house, Suncoast Roofing, Fred Muth, Tampa Screens and Aluminum, and Matt Schafer, TeamGoLoans.com. And I got a couple of hot listings I'll let you know about here in beautiful South Tampa. This one's 3911 West Euclid Avenue in Tampa. 4 bedrooms, 3 full bath, 2 half bath, and it's in the Plant High School District, a very sought after district for a lot of people that have children, a lot of parents that have children. They're looking to get into this school zone. $837,000 for this beautiful property, 5,400 total square feet. Gorgeous property. You got to check it out. Also, another one over toward the beaches, taking over to Largo here, 12091 145th Street in Largo. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, gorgeous property. Owner motivated here. It's a $300,000 asset and close to Indian Rocks Beach. So it's not in a flood zone. It's close to the beaches, but you're still not in a flood zone. Beautiful property in gorgeous Tampa Bay. Somewhere sunny and 75. And back to Chuck Peterson here. So we were talking, about some of these mishaps, these things that happen with the real estate game and the roofing game. Here's a case of the missing roofing materials. Home Depot and Lowe's stores in Jefferson Parish of Louisiana were a bit baffled and getting very suspicious of 3 men who began returning roofing supplies, saying the projects had been canceled. As it turns out, the 3 men were stealing from the roofing supplies from the construction site, returning them to the stores for money. All 3 men have now been caught and convicted, awaiting trial.
Yeah, have seen it happen. I mean, we luckily for us, knock on wood today, right? We haven't had it happen to us, but we've actually seen it happen to a house across the street from us. But they can take that material right back to Home Depot because our guys, if we buy it, he buys through our Home Depot card. So there's no receipt. So when you take it back, the store gives them an in-store credit card. Oh, okay. So those guys take the shingles back and say, hey, they canceled the job. They get an in-store credit card. They got a Home Depot card for $2,000 or whatever, and down the road they go.
Come on, man.
Come on.
Oh, yeah.
So
it's terrible.
Suncoast Roofing, you guys have what I like about Suncoast. Your service is excellent. You guys have helped me close deals.
Yeah,
you get into the inspection and it's like, oh wow, that the homeowner needs to repair it. The buyer's got to negotiate. There's all these things that happen. You guys are able to jump right on the deals. You try to move assets around if you can. But I think one of the strongest things that you guys have is that GAF Master Elite certified contractor with the warranty that goes along with it.
Right. So for the people out here listening for the first time, we are a GAF Master Elite contractor, which is the top 2% of the state. But it allows us to give this Golden Pledge warranty right here, which is a 50-year warranty on your shingles. And I know people say it's not 50 years in the state of Florida, but this is a GAF-backed warranty. They make the shingles. Their plants outside of Florida. right outside of Tampa. And that's their warranty. It's 50 years on the shingles, 25 years on the labor, the first 25 years non-prorated. So, and it's transferable. So if one of your guys puts it on 10 years from now, they sell the house, get the mortgage through Matt, and new seller gets the warranty that goes with it.
That's powerful, man.
It's the best warranty in the business. Best
makes
warranty.
A big difference, too, with insurance and everything. Having your roof done, shingles, everything like that. Absolutely saves the borrower's money in the long run.
Yeah, it does.
And we jump through hoops if we can for the realtors. And Brandon knows, you call, we'll try to move all we can to move because we know deadlines are important. At that stage of the game. It's not the beginning, it's the end.
That's right. So Suncoast Roofing, there's different styles of roofing. We've talked about that before. Yeah. Let me tackle something here. We've got our solar contributor for the show. He's talking about the ability to really install a solar system onto a roof. Yeah. And I think a lot of the misconceptions that people have are, we're going to be putting holes in the roof. It's going to cause my roof to leak. It's not the case, is it?
Well, it depends. If you get a rack system that sits off the roof, they're going to have to drill through the shingles, and hopefully they'll do it. And normally the solar companies will warranty that penetration. Okay. So it avoids this warranty per se. As long as they warranty the part they're doing, then everybody's good. we will have, which we've talked about a couple times, is GAF just came out with their solar system. So it goes on the deck. And we'll have more information next month when we get here. We just got they just have done 2 roofs in the state of Florida just to test it out, but it goes straight on the deck. So there's no penetration through the roofing material whatsoever.
Wow.
Seals around like a skylight. It's about the height of a skylight. Seals around right on the deck. Nice black flat finish for the panels. And, it's going to be really, really good to integrate that into the roof itself. So it's something we'll have here in the next few months. We'll be installing them.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's interesting how we're here in the Sunshine State in Florida,
right? But
politics and lobbyists and whoever you want to blame it on, we're not leading the nation in terms of solar.
And part of that is the cost of energy in Florida, which we all complain about. Is
right.
If you look at this across the country, we're the 4th least expensive power in the country,
like per capita.
Yeah, so your kilowatt cost here is way less than
New Jersey, New York,
all but
probably,
all but 46 states.
California.
Right, we're number 4 at the bottom. So your return on investment isn't as steep as some of the places. I'm from North Carolina, and we're number 4 in the nation at the top. So your return on investment up there is 5, 6, 7 years, and you pay for the system. Where here it's more 11, 12. Years, 15 years sometimes, depending on the size of your house,
right?
To get the return on the investment to make it a zero. It's got a ton of pluses, not just counting that. But when you're just looking at just money return on investment, it puts us at a disadvantage because our power's already cheap.
Right. It makes sense. And then you get into the politics side of it too.
And that hampers it some, don't get me wrong. But, it's coming. I mean, it's more and more solar companies out there. We got guys on the show that are solar guys solely, and it's coming.
That's right.
It's
so Chuck Peterson, Suncoast Roofing, got a great team. You got Brad Blanton out there. Mary's handling a lot of the stuff in the office. Got a great team around you as well.
Yeah, just spectacular.
Yeah, awesome. So I want to bring Fred Muth into the conversation because whenever you're tying in an existing structure into the roofing system, what considerations do you take into that, Fred?
The attachment where, for example, on a pool cage, they have a structural gutter system that supports all the beams. That structural gutter system is basically it's taken most of the load from the backside of the cage, and where it attaches to the home, we have to have a lot of good wood back there. And, if a home is 10, 15 years old, in some cases, the wood will definitely have to be addressed before we come in to put that system in. And a lot of times they'll contact a roofer like Chuck, and they'll come in and do the remediation to that section of the roof to make sure that there's a good connection for the structural gutter.
Yeah.
The standard aluminum and composite roofs, there's always an option whether or not you want to hit the fascia board or you want to come in underneath. And it all depends on height in most cases. I like to have my installations go in underneath if I have the height. I always like my composite or aluminum roofs to attach to the block wall for strength reasons. And then, of course, there's a better guarantee later on down the line that there will be limited leaks. When you attach to the fascia board, in some cases, see it, Chuck. The expansion and contraction between the aluminum and the wood is a whole different concept. So you will get some leaks at some point. But with Tampa screens, not just because I represent them, but I have seen them perform miracles on the roofs attaching the fascia boards. I worked with another company for years prior to, and they, in a lot of cases, they refuse to attach to fascia boards, basically to eliminate the possibility of leaks. But we have a guy over there, Virgil. He's a field man. My hat goes off to him. He can perform miracles on some of these jobs, and he really knows how to basically engineer them and design them so there are no leak concerns as long as the wood's good.
Yeah, that's a big part of it. So we're talking about, just so the listeners know, we're talking with Fred Muth, Tampa Screens and Aluminum. We're talking about these beautiful patio, lanai, the screen rooms, and what we talk about is the in-between space.
In-between space. You've coined that phrase.
Yeah.
Well, and then there's the talk of the tariff right now. Let me tell you, the talk of the tariff has not hurt my business. It has not hurt me at all. As a matter of fact, I was going to send him a thank you note. I mean, I believe the intelligent consumer, they're moving forward right now to purchase these products because they know that prices are continuing to rise. And we've had 3 major increases in 9 months.
Wow.
So, and we just got hit again. I took an email from the office where I cannot honor quotes beyond May 21st. I have to rework every quote.
Wow, yeah.
Because it's up. And it's the same with the concrete. The concrete man's getting hit hard on the steel because he puts a lot of steel in for rebar.
Yeah.
And that's up. That's almost double than it was 6 months ago.
Wow.
So the good news is we're writing a lot of business, and I believe it's going to continue. So who knows?
Yeah, it's interesting, the landscape, how the political landscape, the geopolitical landscape can affect you on a local level.
It's amazing.
It comes right back down.
Yes.
Comes right back down to that. Yeah. So, regardless of politics, what's going on, if you like what he's doing or not, it's something that we're dealing with now.
That's right.
And, and is it in the long term, is it going to be better for the country? Probably. Maybe. Who knows? Yeah.
It's, we're hoping that it will. That's the idea.
Right. Yep. So good stuff. Well, Fred, more from Fred when we come back. We're going to talk a little bit more detail on Tampa Screens and Aluminum. Also, Chuck Peterson, more from him, as well as Matt Schafer, TeamGoLoans.com. Talk about mortgage pre-approvals, different types of loan products out there. You get all different types: conventional loans, FHA, VA. There's USDA products out there.
Yep. The Finance First program. That's definitely our biggest weapon. I love it, helping borrowers. We'll get into that.
Nice. Good stuff. All right. Stay with us right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Our feel-good story of the day is a good one as well. After saving his life, these firefighters returned to finish laying sod for a Pasco County man. So check out, big shout out to Pasco County Fire Rescue. Stay with us right here on Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, this is Jarek Robbins. You are listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show with Brandon Rhymes. Please do what it takes to learn all that you have to live the life you want to live it fully, and find a way to give it by paying it forward to others.
Get in touch with Brandon online at consumerqb.com.
Hi, I'm Jerry from Hot Locks Hair Salon. We are conveniently located at 13414 US Highway 19 in Hudson. I've been a local hairstylist in our community for the last 34 years, 7 of which I was an educator. Our passion is the artistry of hair, and Hot Locks is here to help you achieve your perfect image. You can call us at 727-514-9978. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, helping you win in any marketplace. Published author, professional speaker. Check out our book on Amazon, Become the MVP in Your Industry by Surfing the Radio Waves. We'd love for you to check it out on Amazon, and leading to our new business we formed with Ken Shamrock, Des Woodruff, as well as my wife Lindsay. Real excited about that. Going on a nationally televised TV show next week. So we'll tell you more about that one when it comes out. It'll be fun.
Begin some signed autographs.
Yeah.
What we're talking about now.
Yeah. Bringing the show to Tampa, too. So that's going to be releasing in August. But
awesome.
TV show. But yeah, good stuff. We got our all-star lineup here today. Chuck Peterson, Suncoast Roofing in the house. Fred Muth, a.k.a. the Tin Man, Tampa Screens and Aluminum. And Matt Schafer, TeamGoLoans.com, GSF Mortgage. And we have our Feel Good Story coming up, Feel Good Story of the Week. I want to let you know about this hot listing that I have in the northeast side of St. Pete, the 215 12th Avenue Northeast. This is a pre-construction home that's almost done. 4 bedrooms, 5 baths, SIPS panel construction, over 3,752 square feet, $1.4 million listing of mine in old northeast section of St. Petersburg. You got to check it out. We're going to be doing a big open house in the next couple of weeks, and it's kind of a release party. We're going to have a brokers open / open house party on coming up in the next couple of weeks. I'll let you know about that. $1.4 million. Beautiful property in St. Petersburg. Check out PlatinumMVPRealty.com. PlatinumMVPRealty.com. All right, let's go back to Fred here. So, Fred, another interesting story. We were kind of looking at some of these mishaps that James had teed up for us here. So, gutter gone wrong. It says in Maryland, high wind caused a section of gutter to detach from an apartment building. The gutter fell onto a power line and sparked a fire, which engulfed 42 apartments in the complex. Although many were displaced by the blaze, no injuries were reported.
Call Morgan and Morgan. That's all I can say. I mean, that is a really strange situation.
You can't get anything from that other than just bad luck.
Or what was the movie?
It's good. It's good for the roofing side because they had to rebuild. Got all new roofs out of that.
Yeah.
Just so you know,
stimulates the economy. Stimulates the economy.
Yeah,
right?
there was a movie with De Niro and I can't think of the other guy's name where he meets the family and he's playing around on the roof and
meet the
comes
Fockers.
down and meet the Fockers. I don't want to be careful what I'm saying here.
Easy.
Comes down, grabs the gutter, comes down, starts a fire. Perfect. That's almost the same scenario.
The wedding. Yeah, it was the wedding.
Yeah. Meet the parents.
Oh, is that what it was?
No.
Okay. Yeah. So we're talking about helping consumers out there if they want to build a screen room, an aluminum room, a patio type lanai scenario onto their pool or their deck.
Yeah, what I do see quite often, and it's unfortunate because they're misinformed. The homeowner, they'll put the paver deck down first, and then they'll want me to come out and put a screen on there. There's no footer. They don't know the facts that obviously you have to have a structural concrete footer underneath the pavers. So there's like 3 of them this week I went out on, and my concrete man will underpin it, but that's a whole different process.
More work, right?
More work, more money, and now it's $2,500 more than they wanted to spend initially.
Wow.
Because that could have been done realistically it could have been done with the pavers.
Yeah.
So I advise all the homeowners to prior to doing your foundation, talk to the screen company. Mm-hmm. A lot of times the permits for the foundations, the setback requirements are quite different from that with the screens.
Right.
The screens, being a structure, have to set back further than the concrete decks in some cases.
Oh, wow.
Some people will jump the gun and pull the permit for the concrete deck, and then we come out to put the screen on, and the deck is too close to the lot line.
Right.
So, the consumers end up paying a lot more money for the in-between space than they should.
Yeah.
But it's always good to contact the screen company first.
Yeah.
And they can, they're going to direct you the right way.
Yeah.
Be careful with some of the information that you receive from certain county officials as well. For example, in Pasco, we've experienced where the homeowner will call in about a permit for a concrete slab, and they are told that no permits required up to 500 square feet, and they stop. They don't say any more. However, they should continue with the conversation and specifically state that, however, a permit is required for a concrete slab up to 500 square feet if you're going to put a screen enclosure on it.
Right.
They don't tell them that. And a lot of people go forward and pour the slab at 498 square feet, and they don't pull a permit, and then we go to put the screen on. We can't pull a permit for the screen. Major problem.
Yeah, the permitting side.
And it's just, the consumer has to ask more questions. You had me on the show many times, and I preach that. Ask questions. I don't care if you're building a bathroom, if you're building a carport, aluminum structure, whatever. Construction has a lot of hidden unforeseens, and if you don't ask the questions initially, it can be a nightmare on the back end.
Right. Yeah. Gotta find out. Ask those questions. Think a layer deeper. Right.
And if you try to get around that permit deal, it will bite you in the butt every freaking time. Every time.
Yeah, because if you're gonna sell the property, if maybe refinance, I'm not sure if they're gonna pull on a refinance on that to find out permits.
Yeah, I mean, if the structure has not been permitted, it's going to block your sale. On the property,
on the new sale.
You see that. Yep. You see that all the time.
Yeah, and then sometimes if they do an addition, for example, you got to go back and do what is it called, like a after the fact, and then it's a lot then
you have to get an engineer involved.
Engineer has to sign off on something that's already built.
Because they got to verify that it was done properly up to standards.
That's correct.
And then what if they can't? What if it's already blocked up?
There's can't. It's a cut the wall and verify.
A lot of times down it goes.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
They're cutting sheetrock out, verifying wiring.
If you can't get insured,
boxes.
you can't do a mortgage for it. Yep. You know what I mean?
Right.
No one's going to insure it if it hasn't had the engineer stuff like that.
It's a slippery slope to do that deal.
Right. And I've seen in our business, I've seen many times a person buys a brand new home and there's it's not a brand new home. It's new to them. It's pre-owned home, and there's the pool and the deck, and you can see where the cage was there. Well, the cage came down so that the sale wasn't blocked because that cage never had a permit.
Yeah,
right.
See,
down it goes.
Yep.
Okay, they buy it without a cage, and now I come in, I sell them a cage with a permit, and it's just money spent the wrong way.
Yeah, it's part of the deal. You got to do things properly. You got to do it the right way.
And it's really not that much more.
It's not that much more.
Right.
When you're trying to you spend a quarter to save a penny is what you're doing.
Absolutely.
What are some of the areas that are kind of like, do you have to pull a permit to install a water heater? Like certain municipalities say yes, some say no, right?
I believe in most municipalities it is required.
Yeah, I think so.
It is required.
Yes, it is. Yeah, because there's a considerable amount of electrical that is involved with that.
I think if it's gas, it's automatic.
Gas is automatic. That's correct.
Automatic what?
Permit.
Yeah.
You're cutting the gas line to take one off, but that's a question.
Yeah. It's one of those things, people think it's just a component of the house.
Right. Well, I mean, it goes on quite often because it's in the garage. The garage door goes down, the installer comes in the back door, and then 2 hours later, there's hot water and no permit. But, but if something goes wrong, obviously, then there's a problem. The good news about pulling a permit is you do get an inspection.
Yeah.
And even if the guy's a great installer, a great mechanic, if he made one mistake and it's electrical, and somebody's always there with an inspection on the back end if you pull a permit, to make sure that there's nothing wrong.
Yeah.
Now figure the cost of a fire. You don't want to consider that.
Well, your deductible cost is way more than the permit, right?
That's right.
Let's go back to talking tariff. Okay, these fire things are bad news.
Well, we'll say the tariff's bad news for us. Might be good for you, but it's not good for us.
Yeah, it kind of hampers everything, doesn't it?
Our material cost is going up exponentially, and our contracts are not.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm wondering why the consumers that are purchasing the screens right now. I wonder why they're not jumping on the bandwagon with the roofs as well.
Because your psychological part, right? If you're saving money up, you want to get a screen. That's an enhancement. A roof is just a maintenance.
Right.
Yeah,
you don't put that roof on until that sucker's leaking. Right.
Yeah.
You don't go, hey, prices are going up. We're going to put a roof on next year. We'll just do it this year. No, you just wait and hope the prices come back down.
Yeah.
Screen is they're living outside that screen.
You keep talking. I like it.
They're enjoying it.
Trust me, I understand where we stand. We're way down the totem pole from you. I mean, when it comes to spending money, we're right next to the lawyers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there you go.
Wow. Yeah, they call us right at the bottom. Right at the bottom. You got to put a new roof on. We're the last.
Yeah.
The screen pool guys are right at the top.
That's right. Get the pool. It's something you can enjoy.
Living large.
I get it. I get it.
That doesn't keep our material costs from going up.
You have to have the in-between space. You don't have to have a roof.
Well, technically.
Do I have that backwards?
Yeah, technically you don't. It's going to make life a little tougher.
Yeah.
Showering in the open every night is going to get long.
Well, that's Chuck Peterson there, and we got Fred Muth here on as well. Let's go ahead and bring in Matt Schafer into the conversation. So, Matt, both of these components are crucial to getting a mortgage, and from what they're saying there is, the aluminum screen rooms, those are going to add value as well.
Well, we don't require an inspection, but everybody I work with, I always say it's good to get one. It's looking out for your best interest. This is usually the biggest financial choice people make during their whole life. You don't want to rush it. You don't want to make something stupid happen where you buy a house flush the toilet once and it costs you $6,000.
Yeah.
You just got to do your due diligence, and we require appraisal, so we'll be able to see, the structure of the home, stuff like that. But an inspection's always good, and that's why wanting a good realtor like you that's what the value of a realtor comes in. You want a realtor who is going to walk into a house and tell you straight up what's going on, because a good realtor knows this, like a lot of these major things when they're walking in. What an inspector would see, things like that. But just planning ahead. Getting qualified before you go to look for a home, playing the right moves. So the Finance First program we have right now, that's definitely my biggest tool for borrowers, because most people, before they go to buy a home, they go get pre-qualified somewhere,
right?
And they give them some BS, pre-qual letter over a 5-minute conversation that doesn't mean anything. You know what I mean? You just told them a few things over the phone. That doesn't mean they're going to give you hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, they can verify that. Let's talk about that when we come back. Let's verify the difference between a pre-approval and being pre-approved.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. All right, so stay with us. Pre-qualification and a pre-approval.
Yeah.
Right. All right, stay with us right here. We're going to come back with Matt Schafer here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And our feel-good story of the week is a great one out of Pasco County, Florida. Find out about these firefighters and how they went above and beyond the call of duty here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. For more information, go to consumerqb.com.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
Ian Beckles here with my man Brandon Rhymes, a.k.a. the real estate quarterback.
Hi, I'm Jerry from Hot Locks Hair Salon. We are conveniently located at 13414 US Highway 19 in Hudson. I've been a local hairstylist in our community for the last 34 years, 7 of which I was an educator. Our passion is the artistry of hair, and Hot Locks is here to help you achieve your perfect image. You can call us at 727-514-9978.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
That's right. Brandon Rhymes here. We're back on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we're having a little fun today in studio. Chuck Peterson in the house, Suncoast Roofing. We got Fred Muth, a.k.a. the Tin Man, Tampa Screens and Aluminum, and Matt Schafer, TeamGoLoans.com here in studio with us as well. And every week, we're going to tell you something good. So we have our positivity segment coming up here soon and our lightning round. But I want to go back to Matt. We were talking about the difference between the pre-approvals.
Exactly,
so
yeah.
A pre-approval and a pre-qualification.
Exactly. It's confusing to borrowers. Sometimes I feel like it misleads them, especially when you're dealing with big banks, because they're the worst about it, doing a 2-second call and giving you a pre-qual letter saying you're pre-qualified for this amount. And that's, people they're like, oh, I'm already pre-qualified. I'm not going to go check out other stuff. And they, pigeonhole themselves. But the Finance First program with Team Go, with Ruth Watkins, GSF, it is my favorite thing about my company. It pretty much, we take a borrower before they go looking for homes, and we totally underwrite, approve their loan before we even start. So we get all the documents, get everything set up. We have the whole file ready to go before they even get going. You know what I mean? Which gives them a lot more power, because if you're approved and underwritten, they get a letter from our underwriters. You know, it's pretty much like a walking check. And it's the closest thing you can do to compete with cash borrowers nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
And you know better than anyone, you know, you got to be ready for these sales. If you want a house, if you like a house, you're going to need to make a move on it pretty quick in this market nowadays.
That's right.
And having a Finance First program, already know that you're approved, not only does it bring peace of mind to the realtor, everyone else involved, but most importantly, the borrower knows exactly what they're approved for when they shop for a house, and they already took care of the hard part.
Yeah, because the mortgage game, a lot in essence, a lot of it is, especially if you're dealing with these online companies, they could be working out of their garage in California. Who knows where they're at, right? So a lot of them are just going to try to outlie the other. You know, they're going to tell the client, oh, yeah, we can get you this rate, without going into detail on the loan to value, the amount of down payment, the credit underwriting criteria for that. So they're going to kind of mislead the borrower a lot of times.
Absolutely. And it's funny because back in the day, it was all big banks. You know, they took all of the cream of the crop, home buyers, people who were overqualified, stuff like that. They all went to big banks. But nowadays, it's not the same thing. Companies like GSF, like my team Go, the smaller groups that are truly working for your best interests and, doing everything in-house, they're getting a majority of the share because people know better than, it's the age of information. People aren't stupid. Mm-hmm. They know when somebody's just trying to sell something down their throat. I mean? They can tell the difference between advising and selling. And that's why my team does so well. And it's rewarding for us to do so because it makes an intrinsic motivation of the sorts. It's like, I'm motivated to help you not only because of the business, because I actually know you and pumped to work with you. You know what I mean? Yeah. Pumped to help you do this for your life. This is a big opportunity. And you know how I feel about it? It's the best investment you can do.
That's right. Yeah, it is. It really is. When you look at, the ability to leverage money, we always hear that term OPM, right? Other people's money. So you can take 3% down on a conventional loan program, right? 97% finance and leverage. So for $15,000 down payment, you can leverage a $300,000 asset. There's not many other places you can do that.
Even with the conventional, you can do 3% seller concessions. So you can have that down payment and you can have the seller pay for it.
Right.
I mean, that's awesome.
You can structure the deal.
There's no excuse to not plan for it. If you can't do it right now, within the next few years, you can. It's
when you structure that, think about that, just to explain what he's talking about with the seller concessions is where basically your real estate agent is negotiating with the seller to the seller and asking them to give concessions, meaning that they're going to gift a certain amount of equity. But to use easy numbers, let's say it's $100,000 is the offer that you want to make. What you would do is say, hey, Mr. Seller, we're going to offer you $103,000, but we're going to ask you to give us 3% concessions back, meaning that $3,000 is going to come back to them to help with their down payment and closing costs.
I just had a VA loan for one of my really good friends. He was buying, it was a private sale. It was a probate sale. The seller was in Michigan, and Nick was down here in Florida. He's buying the house in Florida.
Yep.
And the house was like $84,000, and it was completely. They were good friends. So it was a great deal for the house. It was worth like $120,000. So it was a steal.
Nice.
And Nick had a good amount of money saved up for the down payment, but he didn't necessarily want to blow it. Cash is king, and I get that with people. You don't want to just use all of your savings to buy a home and have nothing. You know what I mean? That's just going to screw you in the end. So we got the seller concessions, and the seller was like, I just want to make this amount profit. And Nick and him discussed it, and it was okay to raise the purchase price with the amount of the closing costs because it was valued way higher. So basically, Nick just paid the seller paid for his closing costs, and he walked away at closing with a check from the actual title company for his escrow deposit, the excess, so he got paid at closing.
Wow.
You don't see that often.
That's a way to structure a deal. And that's what's great about real estate. I mean, you can really get creative and structure deals. And on a similar note, if a lot of times if you're buying from a senior or let's say, for example, somebody that's in a high tax bracket, right? If rather than paying cash for the house or doing a loan even, where they're going to realize a certain amount, $100,000 or $150,000 in income, a lot of times if you're thinking, outside the box, you're able to structure it where you would make them payments directly. So instead of, you may make them $5,000 a year, however you want to structure that, monthly or yearly. And then they're going to see that money as an annuity versus taking a chunk that the government's going to take 35-40% of.
Right off
the
top.
If you just make one extra payment every year, talk to your lender and see if it's, if you're allowed to do prepayments. But if you just make one every year, you're talking about knocking 7 years, 8 years off of your loan. And you could spread that out over the whole year. Maybe it's just, extra $100 a month. But you're talking about, basically taking a decade off a 30-year loan with those extra payments. It's pretty amazing what you can do.
Yeah.
I'm just leaving all my debt to my kids.
There you go. Just pass it along. There you go.
Please thank Nick for his service to our nation.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Deserves every bit of it.
Thank you,
That's
Nick.
the best thing about VA loans. I think that every person that has served deserves a house, and the VA loan is bar none the best loan you can get. I mean, it's built to protect the borrower, and it just allows people to have a family home and have the American dream. I love it.
That's right. All right, so every week, every day, we're going to tell you something positive here in our Positivity Tell Me Something Good segment.
Tell me something good.
So after saving his life, these firefighters returned to finish laying his sod. So big shout out to Pasco County Fire Rescue in Florida. They traveled to Greg Work on Sunday after receiving an emergency call that Work was having a heart attack. Greg's wife, Melissa, posted an amazing story about what happened that day in hopes to get members of the fire department recognized for going above and beyond the call of duty. So she said that her husband was having a massive heart attack. He was working on the sod with his amazing brother-in-law, and what triggered to set it off, it just happened they received 4 pallets that were going to be finishing it, and then before the husband's biggest stress, it was his HOA had a date to find them. A huge amount was getting closer. While he was having his heart attack, literally in and out of consciousness, he kept begging me to figure out the sod and have it all down because he didn't want to go to waste and die. It all kept asking literally during a massive heart attack, and he calmed him down, saying, Jesus will help us. Jesus will figure this out, babe. We were sent off to the hospital, but incredible brother-in-law. So he goes on to say how he was, before they realized he finished getting the sod out, a few rows of sod. As he's lying, he heard the big trucks driving down the road. He turned around and saw the fire truck and ambulance had come back. He was confused and he thought they were coming back to check on him. Before he knew it, 7 firefighters and EMTs jumped out, put on gloves, and said they came back because they knew Gene was in serious trouble and he wanted to lay sod, the new sod, so it didn't die. And he said they knew that it would be able to do any work for weeks, so they came back. They came back and saved his life, and then they cared enough to even save the grass. So really cool story there.
Wow, awesome. Them HOAs sure can give you a heart attack.
They sure can.
That's funny.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's a great story. I mean, we need more stories because that happens all the time. You just never get to hear about it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many good people out there, so many good things going on out there, and you hear so little about it.
Yep.
It's all the negative.
Yep.
Terrible.
That's right. The constant negative news network. Yep. And so please help us get these men honored. Please help them find so we can thank them. So that was a big shout out to Pasco Fire and Pasco County Fire and Rescue in Florida. Awesome stuff. All right, we got to have to do an abbreviated lightning round here. We got a couple minutes left. So
I am so good at lightning rounds.
all right, top tips, nuggets of advice. Chuck Peterson.
The same one we're going to go.
Yep.
Do your research. Make sure the people who are coming at your door talking to you are licensed. Make sure they're registered in the state. Make sure they pull the permits. Make sure they do what they're supposed to do. But you have to check on that as a consumer. You've got to check behind, make sure who you're talking to is who they really are. They're not taking your money and leaving and you never see them again.
Got to be diligent. Thanks, Chuck. All right, Fred Muth.
Ask a lot of questions if you're going to bid out one of these projects. I just can't stress that enough. And to all of our installers out there, and your guys as well, Chuck, never come down the ladder the way you went up.
I hear you.
Head first.
Head first. You don't want to come down head first.
That's funny.
Matt Schafer, Team Go Loans.
I see it time and time again, Brandon, with Ruth. People calling in with their loans falling apart at closing. Something went wrong. They went with a big bank. It took 2 months longer than they wanted to close, and she ends up saving it, structuring it. If you ever feel like something's wrong, this is a huge financial choice. Give my team a call. Mm-hmm. Let us at least give you a second opinion and make sure that it's going the right way. And yeah, Ruth's the best there is. So
awesome.
She helps people every day.
I like that. Yep, saving deals, keeping them, keeping the dream alive, the American dream. It's sometimes again, it's the biggest decision a lot of people make is to buy a home. It's the biggest asset that they develop. So when you're in that process, especially the first time or maybe even the second time, first time in a while, it's like a roller coaster for some people.
You got to have people on your side.
That's right.
That's what Team Goes.
I want to thank Chuck Peterson with Suncoast Roofing, Fred Muth, aka the Tin Man, Tampa Screens and Aluminum. Matt Schafer, TeamGoLoans.com. Thanks for coming in, fellas. And thanks to all of our listeners, viewers out there of our TV show on WeBeam TV, and our listeners on our programs. Follow us on social media at Brandon Rhymes 1 on Instagram and Twitter, Brandon Rhymes PA on Facebook and Consumer Quarterback Show pages. Please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Something as simple as packing up some food, clothing you may have, carrying it with you to and from your commute. Hand it to that person that you see in need. Be a force for good in the community. Do something kind for one another. And we'll see you right here on the Consumer Quarterback Quarterback Show. See you next time. ConsumerQB.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show, weekday afternoons at 5 on AM 1380. The Biz.
Are you a real estate agent looking to take your business to the next level and supercharge your marketing? Hi, I'm Brandon Rhymes, owner of Platinum MVP Realty and host of the Real Estate Quarterback Show, syndicated radio and TV show talk program on iHeartRadio, 102.5 The Bone, daily 5 o'clock drive time on 1380 The Biz, and our TV show is on WeBeam TV. We're looking for real estate agents that want to join our team and supercharge their marketing utilizing some of our innovative strategies. We utilize the Real Geeks platform, Facebook marketing, internet marketing, and a lot of the traditional methods as well. Postcard mailers mailed for you.
And 14.
Postage, signage,
Paul encourages
business cards,
Timothy
all paid
to
for
suffer.
by the company.
And in his
Aggressive
own example,
real
we
estate
find
splits
several
and
things
ways
that
to
will
help you
reinforce
win in any
our resolve
marketplace.
to
We
suffer.
need you to go
And
out,
one of
take
those is a
applications,
certain
and work
companionship.
our
Look at
plethora
verse
of
8.
leads
It
that we're
begins with
generating on a
therefore.
daily basis.
Therefore,
Reach
do
out
not
by
be
clicking the
ashamed
form
of the
below,
testimony
and we'd love to
of
have
our
a
Lord
confidential
Jesus Christ.
interview
That
with you.
connects us to the preceding verse where we're told that God has not given us a spirit of fear. In fact, if we read on into verse 8, we'll read that we are to suffer for the gospel according to the power of God. Now,
Hi, I'm Jerry from Hot Locks Hair Salon. We are conveniently located at 13414 US Highway 19 in Hudson. I've been a local hairstylist in our community for the last 34 years, 7 of which I was an educator. Our passion is the artistry of hair, and Hot Locks is here to help you achieve your perfect image. You can call us at 727-514-9978.